Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio.
And welcome to another Feminist around the world. And y'all, it is still Black History Month here in the U.S., no matter if the Google Calendar has decided to bend the knee to the new administration and its foolishness. It is still Black History Month. And we acknowledge it because it is. And with that, let's talk about some amazing people in the STEM field and how they are working to bring more marginalized people into the industry. Specifically, let's talk about Cynthia Chapple and her organization, Black Girls Do STEM. And if you have, well, I guess this is only the second episode in February of 2025. Put that stamp right there. Yeah, we're focusing a lot on people in the U.S. who are contributing to making history within the Black community. And we think it's really important during a time where they are trying to eradicate that. So stick with us. Chapple has talked about her love of learning in an interview with Innovation City, which is like a YouTube and podcast, I believe. So you should go take a listen. She talks about her passion in wanting to know more and always asking questions about how things worked and how that was so important to her that she wanted for children like her, is like similar situations, specifically young girls, to be able to do that as well. She understood how often society hindered young girls, especially Black girls, from doing so. So this is something that has really pushed her in her work and her passion. And because of that passion, she created Black Girls Do STEM, BGDS. So that those initials are used throughout a lot of interviews. And then that's also her site, bgds.com, I believe. So with a background in chemistry and experience in the field, she understands the difficulty in the field for young Black girls. In an interview with Voyage STL or Voyage St. Louis, she talks about her childhood and education. So here's a quote. "I grew up on the south side of Chicago as one of 8 children. Chocolate is my favorite thing to eat all the time for no reason at all. I attended Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis for my undergraduate degrees in forensic and investigative science and chemistry. I subsequently returned to school and received a Master's of Science in Chemistry in 2015. I worked for a state crime lab and also very different industries, and my most recent employer in the manufacturing industry and electrical coatings market as senior research and development chemist." So she's done a lot in this field. And in that same interview for Voyage, she goes on to talk about her experiences in STEM. "The challenges I have faced have been around access to the STEM program as a young Black girl growing up on the south side of Chicago, or undergraduate student working several jobs while going to school, juggling class and work, or the graduate student tutoring to make ends meet, all the way to the professional who continuously felt isolated and singled out in a space void of other minorities and often other women." And in another interview she did with St. Louis American, she talks about having mentors herself that helped her pursue her passions. She says, "As a high school student, I had a mentor who was an aeronautical engineer who worked for NASA. She was young, gifted, and Black, and I was so impressed with her. I knew I would be a scientist. I was always interested in biology, but also loved math. So I decided on chemistry because it was less reading, more math, and still very useful in creating and improving the world." I feel like you two would have been friends, Anney, with the math.
Yeah.
If you had someone like her in your life, y'all could have encouraged each other to love math and grow on in it.
It would have been nice.
This is why this is important.
Yeah.
And with having such a great mentor, she talks about how her organization came about. So here's some information from an article for NikkiCentralWestEndGuide.com. While working full-time, Chapple became involved in community outreach programs that increased gender equity in STEM. As a researcher, she discovered that Black girls in the St. Louis public school systems were not participating in math and science programs. To target that audience, in 2015, she started an online social awareness campaign highlighting the contribution of Black women in STEM. In 2018, Chapple reached out to the community centers to gauge interest in hosting pop-up STEM workshops for 6th to 8th grade Black girls. She got the word out and was thrilled when girls started showing up. The idea quickly took on a life of its own, and by the end of that year, she had 7 community centers eager to participate. "I was literally bringing supplies out of the trunk of my car, trying to make a great experience for the girls," she says. So I love this. I love when programs come out of just love and passion.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And with the help of some partners in 2019, she was able to do the first Girls Do STEM spring break pilot camp with 80 girls participating. And I believe since then, like hundreds of girls have participated. Here's some more information from their site, bgdstem.com. Our goal is to create a cradle-to-career pathway to strengthen and diversify the pipeline of skilled workers entering today's dynamic labor market. Black Girls Do STEM specifically targets Black girls who've been traditionally underrepresented in STEM fields. We work to advance 21st century skills necessary to complete rigorous academic programs and obtain family wage employment. By creating a culturally affirming learning space, we give room for cognitive and mental resilience. Our programs provide a 7-year continuous pathway for Black girls beginning in 6th grade to the 12th. We also support them into university and workforce entry. We love a mentoring program. Love it.
Yeah.
I love them.
Mm-hmm.
And some more from the site from Chapple herself. My purpose of creating Black Girls Do STEM is to change the face of STEM industry. As both Black and a woman, I have felt culturally isolated in STEM workplaces. I can say I often walk into spaces as either the only Black woman or only minority. I see very few people who look like me leading within STEM industry. I am left to ask myself why. Then, as I reflected on my college years and upbringing, I am faced with the harsh reality that the lack of exposure and encouragement may be the reasoning for my often solo appearance in STEM industry. By launching Black Girls Do STEM, I strive to provide middle school-aged Black girls opportunity to learn, create, and build confidence in their abilities to become STEM professionals. In doing this, we will be closing the gap between Black women scientists and engineers and the rest of the STEM world, opening Black girls' eyes to the possibilities in STEM while they are still curious and excited to learn new things, giving Black girls the opportunity to be on the forefront of the next scientific discovery. I believe Black girls can. Black girls will do STEM. I love that.
Yeah.
So much. I love that. And the program offers so much more, from programs for middle school, high schoolers, and college students. And again, from their sites, this is their 3 main goals. Improving self-confidence. They say, we have found Black girls who undergo our program show significant improvements in social and personal growth, including overall self-confidence, as well as confidence in their ability to learn new STEM techniques, reasoning, and critical thinking skills. Increasing engagement. Black girls who undergo our program have an increased overall engagement with STEM, reporting greater access to STEM career understanding and learning. And then the third, sparking STEM career interest. Black girls who undergo our program report an overall increase in STEM interest with significant opportunities for career exploration, leading to an improvement in overall occupational awareness. So obviously there's so much more to who she is and their programs that they have created, but we just wanted to highlight something that is so amazing, and that's something that we want to see more and more of, and why programs like these are so important.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I love it. I love it. Well, listeners, as always, if you have any suggestions or any thoughts, you can contact us in many ways. You can email us at hello@stuffmonevertoldyou.com. You can find us on Blue Sky at Mom Stuff Podcast, or on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff One Never Told You. We're also on YouTube. We have a TeePublic store, and we have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks as always to our super producer Christina, our executive producer Maya, and our contributor Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff One Never Told You is a production by iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.